prepare yourself
What's the name of the spirit that's been seen on the stand?
for an investigation that'll make the hair stand up on the back of your neck and a twist we never saw coming.
Your Honor, I'm just going to move it over here and bring you closer to us.
So he wants to talk about the church, but yet he doesn't want to talk about the church?
So I'm just going to turn this on and let it run for 20 seconds. So if there's anything you want to tell us, now's the time.
It all starts here, in this relatively unassuming building, once used as a church and a Masonic lodge. Full of history, memories, and something else.
We're doing an episode here of Unscripted Paranormal. I've been asked to come to a church. There's also been a Masonic lodge, and there's been lots of incidents of hauntings. So I'm here with the team today to see if we can actually get some empirical evidence to see if we can track down who those individuals are in spirit.
We just want to try to communicate with you, find out a little bit about you.
As Scott begins the session, Adrian works psychically, writing things in a notebook for later reference.
We'll also give you the opportunity to communicate with us, and if you have any needs, we might possibly be able to help you with something. And so I urge you to communicate with us, because this may be the only opportunity that you get to do that for quite a while.
My name is Adrian, I'm a historian. I want to find out a little bit about the history of the building, perhaps who's here, maybe find out some research on you, and if you give me your name and details of your life, then obviously I'll go away and see if I can find you. But we don't mind if you just reach out and perhaps touch us as well, something you could do. Could you make a noise for me, please? I know that there's spirits in this building because they've been recorded. People have documented and told me rhetorically that there's spirits here. There was a shadow figure on the stairs, for example. So here's your opportunity. If there's something you need, if there's something we can help you with. So the first thing I'm going to ask, and I need you to shout into this orange light, is can you shout your name for me, please? Can you tell me if you're male or female? Did you used to work here? Again, please shout into the orange light I'm holding in my hand. Can you tell me how old you are?
Now, I want you to remember this image of the I Ovulus response 70. While it didn't seem significant in the moment, it certainly will later on.
We have lots. Oh, there you go. No motion, vibration.
Nobody was moving.
No.
Almost on cue, the room becomes very active.
It's attached to that chair, whatever it is.
Oh, looks like it's sitting in it.
Yeah.
You're talking about the soft chair by the table.
Yeah.
I'm going to run a key tool over there.
Why don't you bring the chair over?
I was going to say, make the chair part of the vigil. This would be nice.
I'm just going to move the chair, if you're on it, I'm just going to move it over here and bring you closer to us. I hope this is okay. I'm just going to leave you here for now.
So, before, when you had it on the side, you could have debunked it by saying, okay, it's trying to pick up a form from that cylinder. But now it's picking up stuff on the base, on the rollers.
Karen, you want to take the key too and just run it down with that?
You've got a flower on there.
I'm not paying anything on the floor.
Nothing.
If you're the minister that's haunting this location, you're more than welcome to sit on that chair and join us. We just want to have a dialogue and a conversation with you. Perhaps you could wave to us and we'll be able to see you.
Oh.
We've not moved. Neither of us have moved an inch.
Is that the furnace or?
Is that the furnace coming from that way?
It's very difficult for us to discern whether that was you or if it was just a mechanical sound from the building. So I'm going to ask you to make 2 knocks for me. When I count to 3, I would like you to do this. 1, 2, 3.
First, the lights, then a form on the SLS camera. Strange noises. The team gets a little bit of everything here.
If you wish to show yourself to us as well, we have equipment here, we have recording devices, we have cameras. If you wish to sit in the chair, or perhaps if you wish to stand in the doorway, we'd be more than happy to see you. Perhaps you could show yourself to us. Can you manifest? Can you show us physically what you look like?
And then this creepy EVP on the camera audio.
I've written some names down on my notepad when I was doing some psychic work, and if any of those individuals could come through and clarify that for me, I'd be grateful. There was a gentleman that I thought was one of the first pastors here. He gave me his name, and there was also a woman who gave me a name as well. So if those 2 individuals would say hello to me, I've already picked you up psychically, but it would be great evidence if your name could corroborate with the names I've written down on my notepad. Could you shout your name out? Dion. Dion? Or Dion? How many spirits are actually in this building right now? Could you shout a number out for me? How many spirits are in this building right now? What's the name of the spirit that's been seen on the stairs?
We came into this investigation not knowing quite what was there. The owners said there was ghostly activity, but we're thinking it was maybe a priest, a father, or perhaps a janitor that used to work there.
Listen.
We're listening. I won't ask you a question, I'll just run the ghost box and we will listen. What would you like to say?
For context, several of these EVPs weren't even noticed during the session and were only discovered after review. Some would end up being profoundly important.
Are you happy with us being here at the moment? Are you the pastor of this church, yes or no? No.
There's so much going on in this investigation. We've got words coming through on the ghost box. Psychically, I'm getting a lot of information. And I know we're missing words that we can then hear in the evidence review after the event.
What would you say that said?
From here, we move to the choir balcony.
It's a very strange atmosphere. There's a sloping floor. The stairs go in different directions. It's almost like a crazy house that you'd get and maybe a fun fair. It's very disconcerting. We tried talking to you downstairs in the auditorium. Could you perhaps shout out your name? Maybe you were in the choir at one point. Could you tell me who you are, please? Are you somebody's father? Are you a dad? Who's the figure that's seen on the stairs? Who's the figure that interfered with the vacuum cleaner when the lady was cleaning the stairs and made her jump? Could you give me your name?
Judy or June? It was a female.
If that was a female spirit coming through, we think we caught some of your name, and we are recording this, so we will go back and listen. Could you perhaps shout your name out for me, that female spirit? Could you present yourself to us? Why won't you show yourself? I thought I got the name psychically coming through of the pastor that haunts the building. Are we getting K2 activity?
Yes. Yeah. And it's not my phone because it's on airplane mode.
Mine went off right at the same time that Heather noticed that one going on.
Could you tell me the name of the father that was here? Peter, do you think?
That could be.
Thank you for that, by the way. Are you Father Peter?
There was a little spike.
And the word Peter could not have come through louder at that point. Did you hear him say Peter?
I did.
This
Well-
K2 has been going off almost continuously now.
Yeah, it's interesting that he said Peter twice and Father Peter. If you're Father Peter, can you shout your name out again or just give me a nice big hello? Hello.
Hello.
Were you the person that's been seen on the stairs?
Hi, my name is Scott, and I'm just going to ask some of the same questions that Adrian just asked you. Can you just shout out, what was the denomination of this church? Who's the person that they've seen on the stairway here?
As Scott continues to press for the name of the figure seen on the stairs, the equipment continues to spike when the church and specifically Father is mentioned. Was this person a priest or minister? What were they trying to say?
Do you not want to talk about the church? If you don't want to talk about the church or the pastor or the minister, can you make this device light up all the way to the red?
As the K2 flashes in response, Adrian realizes that we may be asking about the wrong kind of father.
I tell you what might resolve some of this is when I did my psychic work. If you look at my notepad, I actually have written on there that it's someone's father that came through. So when you're saying are you father, that would match up with the fact that someone said I'm the person's dad almost. So you might want to ask if that they're somebody's father rather than they are a father. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That might be where the confusion lies.
So we're just trying to clarify. So
Oh, there you go. See?
when we're talking about a father, we're not talking about a priest. We're just talking about a dad. Is that correct?
Also, when we were downstairs, I heard the word Pedro, but I wanted to re-listen to it, which is Spanish for Peter.
Ask if Peter's a father or a dad would be the way to go here.
It suddenly came to me during this investigation that perhaps the father was actually the father or the grandfather of the owner, and he was there to give us a message, or perhaps tell him that he was safe and well from the other side. Yeah, Peter's a dad is what I think is going to
Yeah.
happen right now. That's where we're confused.
Peter, are you a dad? Should we talk about the church again? Or the father or the pastor? Should we talk about that again?
So he wants to talk about the church, but yet he doesn't want to talk about the church?
He won't
Steve,
speak through that, but he's using that.
Steve, do you know John's dad, Johnny? Do you know his dad?
I do not. I know nothing
Do you know
about
if he's
it.
still alive or anything like that?
I do not. At this moment, Adrian asks me if I know the name of the building owner's dad, which I do not.
That's my next. I'd be interested to know what Johnny's dad's name was. That's all. Perhaps we can shoot him a text message in a minute.
Okay, so
Wanna do that
you've
right
obviously figured
I immediately text him. Johnny, is your dad still alive? What was his name? His response gives me chills. Peter. But how can that be if he's still alive? So I text him again. Peter is the name we are hearing. What is your grandpa's name? Are you ready for this? Peter. Peter Sr. We've been talking to the owner's grandpa, and the revelation gets even deeper.
I want to ask again. So you're Peter Sr., Johnny's grandfather, correct?
So that's psychic, because I've got this written on my notepad. Empirical, because we've heard it come through the devices, and historically backed up, because Johnny's just told us his father and his grandfather's name was Peter.
Remember that image of the I ovulus response in the word 70? That came earlier in the investigation after Adrian asked for an age. During the editing of this episode, I reached out to Johnny and asked if his grandpa was 70 years old when he died. After looking up his obituary, which none of us could have done without knowing his full legal name, Johnny called me. Yes, indeed, Peter Sr. was 70 years old when he passed away.
What we've had in the church on this investigation is the perfect set of evidence, because in the quiet 10 minutes before we started doing the investigation, I've written on this notepad my psychic notes, and in the first line I've written John, relative, father, grandparents. So I thought that John, the owner of this building, had his grandparents here in spirit. Then we turned on the devices and it said father and it said Peter, and we have that recorded and we can play that. That's empirical. And then we text John and say to him, what was your father's name, what was your grandfather's name? And his grandfather was called Peter. So we've had the psychic skills when I don't know the family, I don't know this individual, plus the empirical evidence of the devices giving us all this information. And then historically we've backed that up by actually asking John himself, and he actually said that his grandfather's name was Peter. So we've had the perfect triangle of validation on this paranormal investigation.
We're very happy that we've spoken to you, Grandfather Peter, so we thank you for that. We know a little bit about your life, that you was a draftsman and you died of cancer. Perhaps you could come through and just say hello, so we've got something for Johnny to listen to. So we got a little bit confused. We thought originally you were a father in the sense of a pastor or a minister, but we understand what's happened now. So would you like to just say hello for Johnny and tell him that you're safe and well? Would you say hello, Grandfather Peter?
Okay, we're going to finish up here, and I'm going to give you one more opportunity, anyone in the room, if they want to communicate with us right now. I'm going to turn this device on, and you just go ahead and tell us your message. We may not be back for quite a while, so this may be your last opportunity to communicate with us. So I'm just going to turn this on and let it run for 20 seconds. So if there's anything you want to tell us, now's the time. Thank you very much for communicating with us. I appreciate it, and I'm pretty sure Johnny's going to appreciate it too. Is there anything that you want to say, Peter? Thank you for interacting with us. Can you say goodbye?
It's amazing to think that Peter Sr. was there communicating the whole time, trying to correct us when we were on a different path, telling us his name over and over, his age. We didn't realize how many times he did answer us until we analyzed the footage.
What a remarkable investigation, so much going on there, so emotive. There was almost tears when we found out that that was the grandfather of the owner of the property, and it's a very emotional time for everybody involved, with the team, the production crew, and with Johnny, of course.
In the end, it was a profound experience where psychic, paranormal, and historic evidence substantiated the work done here and the communication made.
It's going to be interesting now visiting Johnny after this investigation, just to get his thoughts and hear what he has to say once he's seen the footage.
Nice to see you, man.
How you doing? Hi Johnny, thank you for coming to join us today. We're in your workshop at the moment. Could you tell me how long you've owned the lodge for? When did you get it and how did you get it?
We originally bought the building in 2011 so that we would have a place for the students, kids in town, as a kind of a youth center, and then COVID kind of did that in, and we couldn't meet anymore. And a lot of the kids that had that push going on, they were out of school for a year and a half or so and moved on to other things.
Was there a history of hauntings? Did you and your family seen paranormal activity in that building since you've owned it?
There were folks that were uncomfortable being in the building, especially if they were there alone. We would have employees cleaning the place. People would come to set things up to be able to go and complain about all kinds of noises in the building. We had someone that was rather freaked out because they were working downstairs in the lower level and saw a black figure standing in the stairway, and that person, she will not go back in the building alone.
Do you believe in ghosts and paranormal activity?
I believe in paranormal activity. Ghosts, I think, are just spiritual entity and energy.
Did you have any second thoughts or reservations about letting a paranormal team into your building?
I didn't, because I trust Steve. and after some time I was able to look at some of the things that you folks have done before, and it's not shock and awe and fright, and it's as you see it, and rolls along as the process unfolds. You're not trying to make something out of something that's not there.
So what was running through your mind when when we were texting back and forth there, and I was feeding you that information, that we were trying to figure out who we were talking to?
Well, I wasn't sure at first because you want to know what my father's name was, and I sent my father's name, and then it stopped for a little bit. I didn't hear anything for a few minutes, and then I got what was your grandfather's name? And And then I knew something was really strange when you said that it's looking for your grandfather, that the name is coming out for your grandfather. And that was interesting, to say the least. That was interesting. You can't miss the age. In fact, I found out later on from my mom, I believe he passed away one day before his 70th birthday.
I just want to thank you for letting us in the building, but also, you know, letting us access your family and telling us all of your family history. And also, you know, we are paranormal investigators and not everyone embraces that. So I just wanted to thank you for letting us in, and also, you know, allowing us to show you the footage and allowing us to film you today.
It was my pleasure. Thank you for coming.
Very kind of you, sir. I appreciate you.
Appreciate it.